Installing plugins is usually a simple matter in WordPress. We're in our dashboard, so let's click Plugins. We're now looking at the list of our installed plugins. At the top of the page, we have sorting options similar to what we saw in the media editor, but with different options that are relevant to plugins. We can sort by all, active plugins, inactive plugins, and plugins with an update available. Again, on the right we have our search field. And again, below the sorting options, we have our bulk options combo box. For plugins, we have a few more bulk options than we've seen so far. We can activate, deactivate, update, and delete plugins. After you install a plugin, you must activate it for it to work. These can be deactivated at any time if you don't like the plugin or if you think it might be interfering with the normal operation of your site. This is actually quite common when troubleshooting WordPress. Our plugin description form is pretty self-explanatory. We have the name of the plugin on the left and its description on the right. Beneath the plugin's name, we have links that take us to the plugin's settings and allow us to deactivate the plugin and edit the plugin. The plugin settings will also be found in either the settings menu or in the root dashboard menu like the awesome Flickr gallery that we've already installed. The description includes the description set by the plugin's author, the version, the author's name, and the plugin's website. The plugin site might be either the WordPress plugin page or the plugin's own website if it has one. That's the plugins that we've already installed. Let's take a closer look at installing a new plugin. If we click the Add New button in the Plugins menu, we see the Install Plugins interface. We can search manually, or we can choose a tag from the list below. If we choose a tag, we'll see all the plugins that are tagged with that particular word. If we click Facebook, we'll see all the plugins that deal with Facebook. But right now, we're not concerned with social media. We'll deal with that later. I mentioned plugins that can turn your website into a mobile app earlier. Let's look at a very common plugin that doesn't turn your site into an app, but it does give anyone viewing your site on a mobile device a custom theme that's optimized for use on a mobile device. The plugin is called WP Touch. So we'll search for that. And there it is at the top of our list. We'll click Install, click OK, and we see the installation screen. You can see where the plugin was downloaded, unpacked, and installed. It's installed now, so we'll click Activate. As I mentioned earlier, plugins normally put an entry in the settings menu, so let's look for the settings that we can tweak. And there we go. There's a plethora of changes we can make, including the language used, which page should be loaded first. Note that it does say that WP Touch follows your WP options by default. So whatever your page loads on a website, on a web browser, that's what it will load in the mobile web browser by default. This should only be used if you want your mobile users redirected to another page. You can change the site title, exclude categories and tags, and lots of other things. Now we know how to install plugins. In our next video, we're going to start looking at some more specific things we can do, namely with Jetpack.